War Thunder is a free-to-play game with its unique game mechanics for air battles. I'm fine! No, I'm not!
Oh, God.
That we covered in the last video. However, there is a more popular game mode that changed everything when it was released. Ground battles, also known as tanks. So in this video, I'll be covering the top 10 best tanks in War Thunder. If you haven't seen the last video, it's in the top right corner. As to your surprise, I'm a little different. Yeah! Because recently, I've debuted my 2.0 model this year. So if you're wondering where I've been, check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/FluffyTheSheep with 2 P's at the end because I still need to get to partner to change it. Maybe you can help me get to it by the end of the year. And of course, I have a Discord server that you can check out as well, which can keep you up to date on where I am. Now, before we jump in, here are some disclaimers. I don't know every single tank, of course, so these are vehicles I play myself mostly. If you guys have a vehicle that you like, or want to make love to, then feel free to leave it in the comments. Of course, these opinions are mine, so take it with a grain of salt, and without further ado, let's get right into the video! Number 10, the T-34-85. The T-34-85 is a USSR tank from the World War II era that sits at a BR of 5.7. Of course, this tank had to be in the top 10 videos, with a USSR tank included for all the Russian bias mains out there that absolutely think the T-34-85 was the best tank in World War II. I'm pretty sure some historians can disagree with that myth, but in War Thunder, Gaijin has pushed this tank onto the next level. Super trolley driver's hatch armor, a selenium protected turret ring, and even if you actually pen this piece of from the side, the entire fuel tank will eat your shell. I kid you not, you could drop an atomic bomb next to this tank in War Thunder, and I bet it would somehow survive, breaking all laws of physics and gaslighting you into thinking this tank was an unstoppable killing machine in real life. Jokes aside, playing this tank is honestly super fun. With its fast mobility and amazing 85mm gun, it could pen almost anything at a pretty solid BR. Plus, you get a whopping 7 T-34-85s in your lineup if you somehow are a collector or bought the new pack premiums. Number 9, the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 234,2, also known as the Puma. It is a German scout vehicle that sits at the BR of 3.7. This little piece of shit is the most annoying and under BR tank in the entire game. Originally sitting at a BR of 2.7, this tank is fast, and a gun it packs is a crazy 50mm gun that can pen pretty much everything's side. And up BRing it to more heavy tanks to fight, it will just still work in your favor. Just be careful of those American heavies with the 50 cals, since they will just shred you back to Berlin. One of the best starting vehicles for Germany, and I would highly recommend grabbing it to piss off any unfortunate players that come across this small and pretty much being the OG rat tank of all time. Alright, now it's on to the next one. Number 8, the Tiger II H. I'm not reading the German this time, so hell no. The Tiger II Henschel is the most iconic tank during the Second World War, sitting at a BR of 6.7 in Germany. This beast was feared by the Allies and Soviet forces on the battlefield. With its amazing angled front plate to its heavy turret design, this thing could pack a punch when punching back. It can send you back to the hangar in no time. Of course, it has its downsides, as herder, German transmission moment, and gets flanked due to its unreliable engine performance and gun handling. And to make it worse, they nerfed their engine again this update, so it's even worse than it was before. Plus, having that sexy backshot turret area where you can bend them over and make them beg for you to not touch their soft spot. Overall, this tank is great. Just make sure to check your surroundings and you can do well with this like iconic beast. Now, it's time for the next tank on our list. Okay, number 7. The Sherman M4A176W. The Sherman 76 is not, in my opinion, one of the best, and I mean it, tanks during the Second World War. People can say the Tiger 1 or the T-34 were good, but people have no idea how much love and safety this tank got. And by quote from one of my favorite shows of all time, this tank can be driven by a monkey. Anyways, this tank sits at a BR of 5.3 in the US. And by far, the famous Fury tank, aka the Easy 8 Sherman. I know it's not called that, they just call it the M4A276. Both tanks could do very well with this one feature alone. A stabilizer! This thing, when used right, it's so good at pressuring enemies and giving you the first chance to shoot in an engagement. Fantastic tank, and I would highly recommend you pick up both if you can. The M4A176 is better than the Fury version for me. Now, for the next tank that you will probably all agree on me with. Number 6. The Panzer Howitzer 2000. The Panzer Howitzer 2000 is a stupid-ass motherfucking modern tank that sits at a BR of 7.7. Yeah, you heard me. What the is wrong with you adding this stupid tank at such a low BR? It's crazy.
This is #1 bullshit.
I thought Russia was the one getting biased, but hell nah. What even logic is this? I forgot to mention that this tank fights T-32s and Centurions, with a modern auto-loading system, with a crazy 5-second reload. Forget realism at this point, because Gaijin can give the Axis a fucking time machine wonder weapon and bring back a computerized war machine that was made for fighting Russia after the fall of the USSR, back in time to help with the war efforts. This tank, if I'm not surprised, will be moved up in the near future, and it'll be given thermals. I could be wrong, it probably does not get thermals, I don't know. But it could get a computerized mortar system that can rain HE shells over position if they ever add the mechanic. Absolute cancer to face, but playing this thing feels like giving a Victorian child an M4 carbine and letting them loose on the streets. Have you been playing War Thunder and ever wanted to get one of those shiny green vehicles in the tech tree, but realized that they are squadron vehicles and you would need to join a squad in order to progress to get to them? Are you finding the game also to be a bit too difficult when playing all alone? Well, look no further, because I just opened my very own War Thunder squadron. It's a small one for now, but if we get enough people to join, we can possibly host our own tournaments and as well play squadron realistic battles. What's that, you ask me? It's the top squadrons fighting for the top 5 in the leaderboard to earn golden eagles and extra rewards. It's an 8v8 grand realistics battles game mode with a dark twist. You only get 1 life, but you can spawn in up to 4 planes to help with casts or to fight the other player's casts. And the last team standing with the most tickets wins and moves up on the massive leaderboard bracket. At the moment, we don't have enough members to fully play this super fun game mode, but if you want to, join our squadron and sign up for the Lambs Squadron today. Alright, number 5, the Mouse. One of my favorite tanks in this game, and one of the craziest wonder weapons the Germans were able to somehow finish while losing hard in World War II. It's crazy to me. This tank sits at a questionable BR of 7.7. Same as the modern piece of Panzer II. Anyways, if you want to play a real tank that was made for this BR and was one of the most popular tanks in the world, well, you can! The devs removed this tank with some other fake vehicles to tell the player base that they simply can't balance this monster of a tank. Still, they bring it back for you to grind at least every November for players to get a chance to earn it again. One of the most fun tanks to play in a down tier, if no one bombs you, of course. And if Gaijin ever moves this thing to 7.3, I will have the best fucking day of my life! Until they move it back to 7.7 or banish it to 8.0, because having fun in War Thunder is not allowed.
Did I just catch you having fun?
Okay, now it's time for the next tank now. Also, this tank is literally my logo. It's literally in my logo. Like, this is one of my most favorite tanks. So yeah, okay. Anyways, on to the next tank. Number 4, the T-26E5, also known as the Jumbo Pershing. It's an American heavy tank that sits at the BR of 6.7. First of all, this tank is amazing. It's like playing a Jagdtiger with a rotating turret, and its incredible hull armor can bounce pretty much all shots at its BR, including high BRs. It's, in my opinion, one of the best 6.7s, and probably the top 10 meta tanks of all times. With its amazing 90mm gun, it also has a stabilizer. Unlike the Super Pershing, it has a weak spot on the head with its little periscope and a longer reload time, but the Jumbo Pershing can handle everything on its own, with its only weak spot being the machine gun hull port on the side or the side turrets, which is not gonna pen most of the time. I had an absolute blast playing this tank, and I had to put this here so you can try it out for yourself as well. Oh my god, this tank is amazing. Please, please don't take the T-34. Please take the T-26E5. It is really good. Number 3, the M109. And this is all of them, by the way. This tank needs no introduction, since every single tech tree gets this piece of shit mistake. I absolutely hate this tank, and it's ruined every engagement to me, since it can just stupidly look at you in any tank and overpressure your ass back to the hangar. This tank is heavily under BR'd, and this tank is like the F5 spam in air realistic battles, and I hate that. If I ever catch you playing this, or even having this in your lineup, I will get the shame bell and make you walk around the town and shame for you for all eternity. This is the equivalent of maining Vayne in League of Legends. This is the equivalent of using the Ripper in Call of Duty Ghosts. This is the equivalent of the worst thing ever. Like, I could go on about the stupid tank forever and ever, but in this list, is because of how stupid it is, and I think they should just shoot it to a higher BR and give it its full RT World of Tanks style system it can use, so I can never see these fuckers in my World War II brackets ever again. I absolutely hate facing these tanks in the fucking King Tigers. I hate them in the mouse, especially because they just look at you and they overpressure you, and it's so fucking... Oh, I hate them. But yeah, on to the next tank. Okay, number 2, the Magak 5. This tank is the 5th version of the Magak series out of the 5 trillion others in the Israeli tech tree, at a BR of 8.0. At first, I was forced to play this awful nation by my Twitch chat.
Excuse me.
I thought I would gain a tumor on how absolutely angry I would get.
I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor. Oh, I'm a tumor.
But thankfully, I only got a tumor until I got to the BR of 8.0 to 8.7. This tank in a down tier is criminal. But you're probably asking me, Fluffy, isn't the Magak pretty mid? Well, yeah, I can kind of see where you're going with this. But this tank is special. It gets an M111 APFS DS shell at 8.0 instead of the usual awful pathetic disappointment shell and the horrible explosive absolute trash FS shell, aka APDS and Heat FS. Plus, this tank gets ERA, which can save your life against those rat term-free players with Heat FS or APDS, because they end up shooting your ERA, and it's so funny. I take this tank because getting down-tiered and finally showing those stupid IS-3s and IS-4s who's gonna seal club them now is so satisfying. Unless your entire team crumbles into dust. But you know what? At least I got the joy of my murdering spree, even if it was just for a little while. Before we get to the #1 spot, here are some honorable mentions. Of course, these are just honorable mentions, and I didn't really specify them as tanks because they're on their own separate thing. But you know, I thought I might as well add them here. Of course, the first couple tanks are all SPAs, such as the Falcon, the Gepard, the ZA-35, the ZSU-57-2, the Leopard 4070, the ISPV Leopard, and finally, the newest cancer mobile added to America, the M247. All of these AAs are absolutely stupid, and like, even if they move them up on BR, it does not matter. They'll just overperform. The only thing that I think everyone can agree with me is to just reduce the AP sprawl on those fucking guns, because they just kill you in one shot. They're so annoying. Just shoot the damn planes, man.
Just put the fries in the bag, Tails.
That's what your tank is made for. Like, I hate when people use this as a tank destroyer, and it works way better than usual. Of course, you know, the real tanks I'm gonna put in the honorable mentions is the M18, the T55s, the LM90/AML90, the Fox, the Olefin Mark 1A, the Panther A, and I kind of have to add these two tanks, but since they're top tier, I didn't really want to include them in this list, and of course, it's the Leopard 2A7 and the TAE BVM. Now, for something else I wanted to ask, you're probably wondering, why is there no, like, squadron vehicles or premiums on this lineup so far? I decided I want to take a different approach to these videos now, and I wanted to add only Tech Tree tanks, and I'll add a separate video where it'll list event, squadron, and premium vehicles. So don't worry, I'll add the T90 Bishma from the UK, the Object 292, and the 2S38 is my runner-ups for this video. But of course, those will be on a separate video. But don't worry, I'll work on the next one soon. Now, on to the #1 spot. And finally, #1, the Type 90. This tank is if France and Germany's tank manufacturers had a baby, and would be the second coming of Christ.
It was perfect. Perfect.
Basically, it's a Leopard 2 with a Lorraine 40T autoloader. Honestly, this is the ideal futuristic tank I would want in my military, since an assisted autoloader makes your life so much better. And it's weird that no other nation has tried it like Japan has. I know America's done it with the HTVL, but we ignore that. This tank is also very popular in the media in Japan, such as in Girls in Panzer and in the popular manga series Gate, which it can be found replacing the normal Type 61s and Type 74s in the Battle of Ginza. Now, back to War Thunder. This tank is pretty much cheating. You have some weak armor, but as long as you play safe, this tank just dominates the battlefield. Even recently, moving this tank up to 11.7, after being at 11.0 for years, it still slaps in top tier matches. And if not one of the best brawling tanks at the highest BR, and thus making the #1 spot.
Hey, don't worry, I can fix it.
Hello guys, it is Future Fluffy here. The Tusk Force update just came out like a couple days ago, like 4 days ago. And I have a new #1 spot. Sadly, the Type 90 did not make it, so here is the real #1 spot. I was joking with the last one, since I've been playing the Type 90 now, and top tier ever since, and it's pretty difficult, but I'd say it's an okay tank. But sadly, it has to lose its #1 spot, since a new vehicle that will probably get nerfed heavily, making this video irrelevant in the future, is the Flak Panzer 341 Coalian. But you're probably asking me, Fluffy, this isn't a tech tree tank anymore, so why are you reviewing it? I'm sorry, little one. I cannot pass the opportunity to this vehicle of death. Pretty much, imagine a Panzer IV F2 with twin guns and the fire rate of an A-10's minigun. It's absolutely insane that the devs decided to change a vehicle they removed 5 years ago, and it's not even real. Like, there's like a wooden prototype turret made. Like, here's the picture. Like, they never finished it. These fictional guns, they decided to buff them. The only good part I like about the buff is the HE buff. I can actually shoot planes down. Like, they don't just like hit. They actually they explode now, which is good. But the devs were like, you know what? Let's you know, buff the APHE as well. And they like tripled the pen and the TNT equivalent, and now it's just a nuke printer. It just prints nukes now. It's ridiculous that they decided it. So all the veteran players like me can now just run around in 6.3, and even worse, in down tier 5.3 games. It gets even worse, because currently there is a bug that if you reverse against these types of tanks to like get into cover, to get away from them, your armor becomes paper mache, and in turn can frontally pen you and one-shot you, sending you and your entire team back to the hangar. This update is insane. I had to fucking like, I had to spread the word, because this tank is absolutely like you can't even play ground anymore. You can't even play 6.7, 6.3 ground. Of course, I get it. German teams le bad. Like, they heavily nerfed their Tiger 2s, while the Tiger 2s still face like Lorraine's AMX 50s at 7.7 full up tiers. They still face IS3s, IS4s. I've been seeing a lot more of those tanks. But with the Coalian, you could just kill those tanks. You could just frontally pen them. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's modern IFV at like 6.3, and even if you up tier yourself to a higher VR, even to like top tier, it can frontally pen Abrams. Like, that's okay, man, that's crazy. If I had to put a real tank at the #1 spot, I will probably put the new BMP-3 they added this update. That's probably going to be terrorizing everyone, because we all know that BMP-3 is pretty good. But I still need to play it a bit myself, but I think it deserves the #1 spot for now. So that's it for the real #1 spot. Welp, that's it for me. Since some of you are probably wondering where your favorite tanks are, since I've not mentioned a single French or Italian tank yet, or Chinese, I have to sadly leave those for another time, since I do not own any of those vehicles yet. But hopefully soon, I'll be starting my France or Italy grind, so maybe in the near future, you'll get to see your favorite tank. Of course, about the whole video uploading stuff and me not posting for about 6 months, I have to put a stop to them for a while because of my new 2.0 model that I hope you guys like very much. Make sure you keep up to date on my Twitter or Twitch. And of course, let me know what you think of the list in the comments. And I'll see you all in the next video. The top 10 worst tanks in War Thunder. Also, PS, I'm working on the next sheet posts video. So look out for that as well. Okay, bye.